So let's take a look at this one. This is another, just a clean cut wire, sliced right through the end. The end actually got sealed over with glue. So it's as if the end got cut clean through, then sealed over with glue. But it's still open enough that when you hook it to the multimeter, I still have a 4 meg ohm ground fault. It's not a perfectly open circuit. It still has a little bit of a ground fault. Something leaked under that glue. It trapped some moisture. So I'm removing the test leads from my multimeter. I'm making sure my switch is off, down. I'm moving my test leads over here. And black to the shield. Way up there, get myself some good distance. Red here. I've got a good half-inch gap here, and nothing else close. My test leads are way over here, so now I can power on. Switch this all the way to the right to watts. I can survey my surface. Now I've got a little bit of a warm spot there from a test I did just a few seconds ago, but now I've got a strip over there, but that's a reflection off the ceiling lights. If you move around, it moves. So, keeping in mind that I do have a false image there already, and you can even see the grout lines, where that lies on the grout lines. But keeping that in mind, I'm ready to spark this. Now let's see what we get. Applying high voltage. There's a lovely light buzzing sound that sounds like it's the right sound for it to be sparking. And you can see the power there is, that needle is absolutely buried. Now you can double check, go back to voltage. So it says that basically it's taking about 250 volts, 300 volts to bridge that spark. So even with the glue sealing over the end of that cut wire, a little bit of a ground fault. Anyway, what's going on under that tile is it's generating a spark to bridge a gap. It's taking about 300 volts to do it. And over here to power, watts, it's delivering about a watt of power, no, 3 watts of power to that spark. So that should show up really quickly on the thermal. Now this wire is buried deeply. It's actually under a second layer of Luan. And so, looking at the thermal, do we see anything? I am not seeing anything yet. I was kind of expecting to have a positive by now. Alright, well, we'll spark it a little longer. Something's changed. We've gone to a full ground fault. Now when I push this, the voltage doesn't jump. So now I'm in a full ground fault. It's just running current straight through a connection and not delivering any power to it. So now I need to go with the short blaster. This delivers 2 amps of power. And it might burn that ground fault open like a fuse, or it might heat up the whole wire. When that top light goes on, then it means it's basically hit its limit and had to cut the circuit out. Top light isn't going on. Alright, so let's go back to voltage here. See, we sparked for just a fraction of a second there and then lost it. So back to the the short blaster. It's supposed to be delivering about 2 amps to that circuit. show us anything on this. Now see how that just popped back up? If I go to volts. Alright, we're sparking. Not much of a spark. So getting very ambiguous readings here. Let's just see if we see anything with the thermal. Actually, I realize it's diffuse, but there really is something. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the camera. There really is something right there. It wasn't there before, and it's not a reflection. Now, I was hoping to see a more distinctive signal, but this, my friends, is a spot. Now I can fiddle with this short blaster a little more. See, you can try to create a spark. If that voltage needle stays low, then it's really not sparking across a gap, from what I can tell. Go over to power. Yeah. Alright, so I can short blaster it. Pushing on that short blaster, putting 2 amps through there. And now it drops, so it's as if we're burning that fuse out, which is kind of a good sign. Meanwhile, that top light hasn't gone on, so the resistance of the ground fault is high enough that it's not allowing it to go past 2 amps of current. And my warm spot is a little more distinctive. And it hasn't faded, which a signal that weak, if it were a false negative, somebody resting their hand, it would be fading by now. So, well, I don't know that there's really much of a point in hitting this anymore. Although, this is good news. It's it says it's delivering about 1 watt. Not a lot of power, but enough to create a warm spot. I think I'd probably let you sit around listening to that thing buzzing to itself long enough, but that is a very definite warm spot. And like I said, this is